Hello everyone, I'm Jensen. Today is Friday, April 16th. And from an update on last night's Nevada Street shooting to a look at national conversations surrounding gun violence, I have all the stories you need to know to get in the loop tonight. But first, as always, let's just get a quick check on our weather.
Here's a look at tomorrow, starting off a little bit brighter, but as the day wears on, especially by early afternoon, the sky should be clouding up and a fairly cool setting can be expected for the afternoon. You'll see a couple of green blips show up here. I think it's going to be nothing more than a few sprinkles Saturday evening, Saturday night, Sunday morning perhaps. And on Sunday, there's a little bit better chance things will work the other way around. An overcast sky through the early portions of the day on Sunday may end up giving way to a little bit of brighter weather in the late afternoon hours. Tonight, partly cloudy, cool, a low 36 degrees. And tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a cool setting. And again, the key here could be the wind direction north-northeast, 10 gusting to 15. The high 56 degrees tomorrow, and then on Sunday back up to close to 60, a mostly cloudy, cool setting, and maybe a few sprinkles. On Monday, there's a 30% chance of rain showers very late in the day, up to 64. Then cooler weather settles in.
And a suspect is still in the hospital after he was shot by Toledo police last night during a domestic violence investigation, during which he pointed a gun at police. Officers responded to a call just after 9 p.m. in the 2000 block of Nevada Street. A caller reported a domestic dispute between her adult daughter and her daughter's live-in boyfriend. Toledo Police Chief George Krall gave a news conference this afternoon where he identified the suspect who was shot as Benjamin DeVerna. Officer Jimmy Bennett was the officer that fired the shot. He was hired in 2016 and has no active discipline in his file. Chief Krall said Bennett did what he's trained to do.
We do not have to be shot at or shot to return fire. We're trained that if we feel that our lives are in danger, or our partner or an innocent third party, whether that suspect fires his weapon or not, we are justified in using deadly force. And I don't think anybody looking at that screen, seeing a gun pointed at you, would not think that their lives were in danger.
Krall played body cam footage showing the suspect initially had his gun in his mouth when officers found him hiding inside the garage. The suspect removed the gun from his mouth, lowered it, and turned it toward Officer Bennett, who then fired a single shot. DeVerna was struck in the hip, and aid wasn't rendered by the officer because Krall said it wasn't clear he had been hit.
Not only did the officers not think he was shot, I don't think he knew he was shot. He walked out, laid down. Officer Bennett's partner even said, no, he's not hit. And then after more investigations, you heard Officer Bennett say, get fire up here, he was hit.
DeVerna did not fire at officers and is expected to survive. DeVerna will be charged with domestic violence and assault, and Krall said more charges could be coming. Officer Bennett will be placed on paid administrative leave, which is standard procedure. The incident is still under investigation. And conversations on gun violence and gun control on both sides of the aisle are happening at all levels of government. Tomorrow, for instance, the city of Toledo will be hosting a town hall meeting on the prevention of gun violence, and leaders are inviting the community to join in on the conversation. This is the first in a series of initiatives to get the community involved with the city to strategize best practices in gun violence prevention. The meeting will be held April 17th from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. at Scott High School. Residents can attend the meeting in person or virtually by registering online. If you need those links, I have information in the description of this video. And 14 House Republicans signed onto legislation that would allow the state of Ohio to ignore federal laws and court rulings that they say violate the Second Amendment. House Bill 62 would declare any federal law, executive order, administrative action, or court ruling to be null, void, and of no effect in this state if it infringes upon the Second Amendment. Legal acts that would qualify as infringements under the bill include any of the things you see on your screen, like registering or tracking guns, and any tax on guns or gun parts if they could, quote, reasonably be expected to create a chilling effect. The bill also prohibits law enforcement from enforcing any federal laws, court rulings, or orders that qualify as infringements under the bill. It would prohibit a defense known as qualified immunity, which state employees claim as a defense for carrying out their official job duties. But how exactly House Bill 62 would play out is unclear. For instance, President Joe Biden last week announced planned executive actions to limit the proliferation of ghost guns made of homemade parts without traceable serial numbers. This would likely qualify as an infringement under House Bill 62, even if the U.S. Supreme Court were to rule the executive action as constitutional. But analysts with the Legislative Service Commission say the bulk of the law may be vulnerable to change challenge under the Supremacy Clause of the U.S. Constitution, which gives federal law precedence over state law. But on a national level, there's a push to pass more pieces of gun control. In a letter sent from 152 mayors Wednesday, including Toledo Mayor Wade Kapsakavich, U.S. senators are urged to consider H.R. 8, the Bipartisan Background Checks Act, and H.R. 1446, the Enhanced Background Checks Act, which both, as you can tell by the names, aim to strengthen gun background checks. The letter from the U.S. Conference of Mayors said, in part, Americans are increasingly alarmed by mass shootings and by the steady increase in homicides and shootings plaguing too many neighborhoods. As mayors, it's our top priority to ensure public safety. Protecting our residents from gun violence is at the very heart of this commitment. And today, April 16th, is National Selena Day in the United States. It's a day when fans will put on some Selena songs and remember the impact she had on Tejano music. At just 10 years old, she became the lead singer of a group, Selena y los Dinos. In 1987, at just 15 years old, Selena won the Tejano Music Award for Female Vocalist. She went on to win that award 9 consecutive times, making waves in the male-dominated world of Tejano music. Selena was just 23 years old when she was killed by the president of her fan club at a Corpus Christi motel on March 31st, 1995. But even after more than a decade, her appeal is as big as ever among those who were fans before her death and even those born long after. And SpaceX is gearing up for its third astronaut launch in under a year after getting the green light from NASA a week ahead of Thursday's planned flight. Managers from NASA and Elon Musk's space company Thursday cleared the Falcon rocket and Dragon capsule for a dawn liftoff with a crew of 4 to the International Space Station. They'll spend 6 months at the orbiting lab, replacing another SpaceX crew that's close to coming home. This will be the first crew flight using a recycled Falcon and Dragon. Both were designed for reuse. The rocket was used to launch the current station crew last November from NASA's Kennedy Space Center. The capsule, dubbed Endeavour, also will be making a repeat performance. It carried 2 test pilots to the space station on SpaceX's first crew flight last spring. And before I go, let me send you off on your weekend with some information that could get you some cash and give you and your pup a little taste of fame. The next photo you take of your dog could land your pooch a $20,000 gig. Last year, Busch Beer released its first product made for dogs, Busch Dog Brew. The alcohol-free bone broth brew gives dog owners a chance to, quote, crack a cold one with their favorite champion. As Dog Brew expands this year, Busch is also looking to expand its leadership team to include a 4-legged member with a discerning palate, which otherwise is known as Chief Tasting Officer. Busch is currently on the hunt for a full-time CTO who will lead the expansion of Dog's Brew flavor portfolio. The job also comes with some big perks, including a $20,000 salary, pet healthcare coverage, and free Busch Dog Brew. And so, does your pup have what it takes to be the Chief Tasting Officer? You can apply by posting a picture of your dog on social media along with their qualifications and hashtag BuschCTO contest. For more details on how to apply, visit Busch's website. The contest ends at 1:59 p.m. on April 28th, so get that in quick. But that is all I have for you today. If you liked this video, hit that like button and of course subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm Jensen and now you're in the loop.